BSL series we have ongoing this month of May. For today, we have VK5-Up&Comers versus Peasants Rebellion, which is a coalition of HON, SOEL, and various other unaffiliated players. I think we also have one other faction showing up on their side. Is it going to be... Yeah, I guess just Ian, who's sort of a Calrodic campaign player. I am joined by Les today, co-casting. Not sure if we have even a third attendee on his side as well. Might have two people casting. Hey Tusco, we're live. We're just getting started here. The match has not started yet, so we're on a 10-second delay, which is actually shorter than the previous delays of matches. This is our first Week 3 match, E-Division. This is E-Division match. Since it is Week 3, we have our first map, Xauna, with Battania and Vlandia, and then we'll have Lighthouse with Battania versus Empire. Looks like VK is getting the remainder of their players in. Looking at some of them currently on the Vlandia side, it seems like they have at least, 2, 4, 6, 8 players, so more than enough. Their substitutes are ready on standby. Thomas is updating to the correct map. We'll be starting here momentarily. And shaping up to be a good match. I think Les was of the impression this is going to be the hardest fight for VK5 in this division. So really, to a certain extent, it may determine the outcome of the league overall at this tier. So on VK5, we have Pudin, who is remarkably good despite his playing disadvantage. Might bump up a whole nother tier or two if he... Well, I don't know about 2, but definitely at least 1 if he was not suffering from 114 ping, dialing in from the moon. And then we have Woolyte, SlimShakey, Thomas, Neander, Broly, CoolGuy, and Josh. It's obviously more than 6 players, so we'll have a couple of substitutes on standby, and might even see them mix up their composition, depending on how things go. I'd say the best players... Go ahead. Yeah, I think... Yeah, Sly Marbo... Yeah. Peace is, if I'm not mistaken, he's pretty decent on Cav. I think I might have seen him in a match earlier, and I'm pretty sure I recall him being top of the scoreboard, so as long as that wasn't a hallucination. I also appreciate that Peace has the 1 skirmish win badge, ironically. Obviously chosen to be a joke. So yeah, I think we can expect something from him for today. The best players in VK5, I would have to say... despite his ping disadvantage, Pudin, not like the absolute best, but he's definitely up there. Broly is very solid in infantry. Neander's decent cav. Josh 4000, pretty solid as well. I don't know Woolyte that well. Thomas I think is decent on inf as well. CoolGuy is trying to get better at cav. I don't know if he can compete with Peace. He'll probably be on infantry today. Sly Marbo and Ian, I both recognize both those guys from Calrodic Campaign, one of the popular events on the first and third Saturday of the month. If you're not yet suitably indoctrinated, you should know that's when the event always is. Great event, by the way. Sorry, I'm going to cross-advertise there. You can join them on the, discord.gg/mountainblade. That's MOUNTANDBLADE. Whereas this event is organized and hosted by VK, Vlandia, so that's discord.gg/Vlandia, VLANDIA. It's also in the description. So, yeah, I think I'm expecting a lot from Peace. I think Ian322 will be one of their top players. Sly Marbo, I also recognize. I don't know that much about him, but I do recognize him, which is usually a good sign if I've seen somebody a handful of times, which is definitely the case for him. He probably plays the game a fair bit and has a lot of hours in the game, I assume. Tyrion and Tops and Zaleck, I don't know them pretty much at all. I might have seen Tyrion, but obviously his name's kind of a movie character, so it's like it doesn't stand out. It's hard to like recognize like, do I know that person or not? It just kind of bleeds together with like it's not a very distinct name. So yeah, I think the match will be starting here pretty soon. We have just a field of corpses littering the map to as we get ready in the warm-up phase here. This is from the VK bot, right? Are these stats? Gotta watch out for that, intellectual property violation there. It's the Valiant Knight spot, not the Vlandia Knight spot. We changed it. Anyways, so yeah, there is a there's a valiantknights.org. If you go there, you can see the scoreboard. VK does have its impressively good matchmaking bot where custom servers are, basically you queue up in a Discord, and once there's 12 players, you hit the button, it automatically creates a server dedicated for that match, and people join, and the stats are tracked separately. So this is kind of where Tosco is pulling that information from. So I think if you check that bot, it'll probably say that I'm the best cav in the game, which is objective, unbiased information, getting it straight from the source here. So I'm sure Tosco will agree. Probably. We'll see. Oh, really? I've been improving, so yeah, I'm nowhere near actually the best. Yeah, for the record, I'm like not even close to top 10, but I hope to be there Sunday. We'll see. All right, so start of the match, we have Sly Marbo and Peace on cav. No surprise from Peace. And who else we have on VK5? Just SlimShakey, it looks like, so far that I've identified. So yeah, just SlimShakey, just one cav, which is probably okay for this map. They did bring one spear, which makes sense. Josh 4000 on spear, actually 2 spears. Pudin is also on spear. He is pretty decent with that. Does a good job of staying alive and not just glancing constantly. You gotta have nerves of steel to be on spear, because people are gonna whack at your shield constantly, and you have to not just like fold under the pressure, which easier said than done. It's honestly kind of a frustrating experience, but very valuable asset to the team when it's played well. Looks like we... Looks like VK5 is staying closer to the wall mostly, except for Neander, who's kind of out of position here. SlimShakey goes down really fast. It's going to hurt VK5 in this fight, and if the cav gets in good damage, good stabs on Battania, on VK5, it really could make this I think a foregone conclusion in favor of Peasant's Rebellion. Again, if the cav gets in the damage, which so far they haven't knocked out the infantry as fast as they might have hoped for. VK5 is doing a reasonably good job of holding their own, but it does look like they're going to lose overall. I think cav going down immediately definitely hurt them in that fight. So if SlimShakey is having a tough time, yeah, he didn't get enough damage, and Peace did 310. Sly Marbo didn't do much. Yeah. He's already out. I don't know what happened there. I didn't even see him come back in. He just died right away. I don't know if cav chased him down in spawn. That must have been what happened. But yeah, it doesn't seem like VK5 is going to take this round. Yeah, if they already knocked out Pudin, so that's kind of yeah, it's pretty much over. Peasant's Rebellion, they're going to need their second lives to finish this fight, but not by much. You know, had obviously this first round, both Battania and Vlandia have very squishy second lives. Vlandia even more so than Battania. Battania's peasant class is relatively decent compared to most factions. Not as good as Azari's, but decent. And so I wouldn't draw too much of a conclusion from how badly VK5 got stomped there, because they're not going to have paper-thin second lives on the next rounds here of this set. So I expect the future rounds to be more competitive. Again, no surprise here with Broly getting the most score. He is a very solid infantry player. He might kind of carry. Wasn't much he could do in that 3v1, but yeah. With that momentum of losing, you know, dropping the cav right away, Peace doing tons of damage, I don't think that we can necessarily draw a conclusion about how the rest of the match is going to go. So I think this next round will be a better predictor for the overall match. All infantry. All infantry on VK5. They were not confident in fighting Peace and Sly, and I would say mostly Peace. Yeah, I'll also say that if they were not beating the Cav when they're on Battania, they would have even worse odds once they switch to Vlandia. I mean, I think Vlandia's reasonably close in parity to Battania, but I think it's widely considered that Battania has the best light Cav in the game. So again, if Slim's not winning those fights on Battania, he's definitely not going to win them on Vlandia. So just a point about the next half of this first map. Cav goes down right away. That's definitely gonna... Is that Peace? It's Sly, so it's not as huge as it could be for VK5. But having dismounted Cav is definitely gonna reduce the pressure. We have one... yeah, actually, I think VK5 might take this fight. Looking pretty good for them. They're not winning it as well as they might wish to, but... Ooh. This is turning out to be a lot more even than it seemed that it might have been. They might even lose. Yep, they lost. Slim was spearing the Cav, kind of chasing the Cav instead of helping his guy in a 2v1. Pretty critical mistake that did not pay off. So I would predict at this point, I think if... They're trickling here, which is very weird. Terrible idea. Like, I don't know what they're doing, because they don't need to loot. Yeah, I mean... A bad play wouldn't hurt to take advantage of that, if they can. It just seems like Peasant Rebellion, maybe they had the better players on the infline or something, or maybe Cav. I'm not sure where... Well, they're probably worried that Cav will just come behind them and they'll lose the morale pressure, so... I think being open in that little... they really want to fight next to the wall, so I can see why they didn't push. It's... My theory, before confirming it, my theory was that Peace was the Cav who was, you know, moving around, more comfortable moving closer, where Sly was just sitting still. So it's kind of funny that that was the case. I mean, not a surprise, but it's funny to see how theories pan out. Very tight fight, so... Tania's taking a lot of damage here, yeah. Josh just got bonked like 3 times in a row. I don't see this working out for VK5. So yeah, I mean, I said that this round would be a better predictor of the match overall, which I do think is the case. And with that being said, it's I think they have a chance to turn it around, but my optimism for VK5 is slightly dampened. I'd say Vlandia overall is probably the better faction, but I think you're right about the cat being better, but hopefully it would matter less on this map. I mean, it's got a lot of spots you can keep it back on the wall. I mean, honestly, in certain scenarios, this cover like can actually work in favor of Cav, like the fact that you can't see them very well in an infantry fight. Like that's one thing you wouldn't necessarily expect, like the fact that you have these obstacles at A. Like, yeah, it can get in the way of a lance stab, but it can also conceal them to go around in a way that you didn't expect. So losing line of sight and having that kind of lack of object permanence sometimes it can really hurt you with the Cav.
I'm coming for you!
They immediately get on the spear, and then nasty stab on his piece there, but I think he's got plenty of health to spare. I think Battania's up in this fight. Ian goes down, which is going to hurt Peasant's Rebellion. Tyrion goes down, then Josh 4000. It's kind of evening it up a little bit. 2v1. That's looking like it's going to hurt the... yeah, it was a good fight by VK5. And what I noticed is like the 2v1 that was ongoing towards the end from Peasant's Rebellion, they didn't really push well enough. I think their dismounted cav was just like too slow and not even committed. Peace is just really carrying with 1k score in 2 rounds. It's 500 score per round, more than that even. Sly gets a pretty nasty bump stab in there. That must have hurt. With a heavy lance, that couldn't have felt good. I think VK5 did some damage on their first lives, but didn't look like very much. I mean, this guy, Ian, looks mostly untouched. It's hard to see with their shields held up, but they're not looking too hurt here. It almost looks like no damage, which would be... I don't know why they had their shields out. Oh, it's because the morale was down to 0. That's why they had no shields out. 3-0, not a good start. They really need to learn how to shut down Peace. Somebody needs to hop on their alt account and... No, I'm kidding. Anyways. Oh, you know what, Tosco? I am so sorry. I've had you muted this whole time. I am so sorry, Tosco. B1, why does nobody comment in chat here? We have... let me see, what is our viewers right now? Hey, we have 9 concurrent viewers and nobody commented that you were muted. I'm so sorry. B1 DM'd me.
They don't want to hear me.
No, I definitely wanted to hear you. I just didn't realize. You know, usually when I'm streaming my own matches, I always have Discord audio muted. So this whole fucking time, I've been talking to myself like a crazy person. Dude, we are so professional here. Yeah, if I decide to, like, you know, change my identity because I just died of embarrassment, now you know why.
I'm sure that's how VK5 is feeling right now, but I'm hoping for a better second half.
Well, somebody had to be more embarrassed than they were, so that's what happened. I'll go ahead and update the scoreboard status to reflect that we're on the second half of the first map on Xauna. Let's see if VK can turn it around. You know, some have said that VK never loses on Vlandia. You'll never guess what the V stands for in VK. So anyways, Tosco, what's your level of optimism for VK5 here? Think they're going to turn it around?
I think they're going to cook. This is the home field advantage right now, home faction advantage.
They did go 2 Cav. Well, interesting they didn't try that when they had the better Cav class.
I wish I could have saw this on Battania. This would have been great. Oh no.
And then Neander just kind of leaves Slim. That's not very smart. Slim gets a nice stab in. I think they are definitely up on the Cav fight currently, just in terms of rider HP. I didn't see who landed that hit, because I was looking for the infantry. One of the... Yep, Slim goes down and he loses his spear. That was a huge dismount.
Yes, let's go.
That was a perfect move by Pudin and... Was it Neander? It was good thinking. He's going to get remounted if they're not careful, I think. No, is there a horse? There's not. Oh, there is. No. And they have to kill it, and they're not doing it.
Oh, yeah.
They took a lot of damage to stop that remount. It was worth it, but a little bit unnecessary at the same time. Now, Neander dies on first, but this guy Slim is on second, and he does not seem that confident in the skills.
It's going to come down to the infight here, then.
I don't know if you should be chasing that dismounted horse. Well, there's a fight about to happen, maybe. Makes sense to kill the horse, because we still have a dismounted Cav on Battania. Sly is heavily hurt, looking for some random infantry who... I don't know where he's thinking they would come from. Alright, nice. So we have...
Nice.
did that bump stab actually get landed? I didn't see that.
That landed.
Nice.
Neander is cooking. Oh.
Peace goes down, which... almost a bad thing for VK5 to have Peace respawning. You'd almost prefer him to stay alive till the very end of the fight. And here he comes back in. Trying to prove my point, get some damage in right away.
Immediately. I don't like seeing these 1v1s. I wish he would fall back to the group. That's good though. Cav came and supported.
They already have 2 out? Yeah, I think VK5 takes this one.
I think so.
No, actually they were just taking forever to respawn. I didn't.
But they are guarding the loot. This is the loot round.
That's true. Now you usually will lose the loot if you win the first fight, which is kind of a weird thing that happens. They're fucking their eco so badly here. That's such a bad move. Such a bad move to go all Brigands here. Even if it wins them this round, it's gonna ruin their eco for the next round. They just don't know the skirmish meta, like class structure.
Or they're going for it. As long as they win this round, they win this match or this side. So
I guess
maybe they're just trying to get that one round in. I don't know.
It might have kind of worked. I mean, it remains to be seen.
I think they took too many casualties there.
Yeah, some of their infantry classes' eco is just ruined for the subsequent rounds. So if they could have completely dominated and taken no casualties, it would have been huge. But I mean, VK has peasant lives, and I don't see them. Yeah, this is not going to work out. Their inf eco is going to be wrecked.
Now I'm not sure if not taking looter, is that going to affect their eco, or?
I usually don't. Right? You never need to. You don't really need to go looter, and normally I usually end up having enough eco for the rest of the rounds, as long as you don't like get no kills.
What I don't like to see is
they just team killed their own last infantry. It's crazy.
And they picked up the throwing weapons. Oh jeez.
Yeah, this is. I don't see Cav cooking here.
Not when C.
And Peace is good, but he's not like joust 5 spears on infantry good.
You are dead.
I don't think anybody's gonna do that. That takes a long time, and he's down morale right now.
Yeah, it's not a 90-second operation on this map. Maybe if he had 10 minutes, he was really good.
Yeah.
Take him out. I've seen enough. Ian calling for the death of his own cavalrymen. Very cruel. Very cruel.
Well, he did stab him in the back.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so that's the first round for VK5 in this second half of the map. Let's go ahead and increment that scoreboard. Gives me something to do while I'm waiting. Accidentally hit +6. Ignore that, guys. You didn't see that. And if you're wondering, this is actually a football scoreboard, a template. Anyways, all right. It does work for just fine for Bannerlord, though.
This looks like an immediate fight.
Might be, yeah. And then they're, oh my God, this guy doesn't know how to turn around. He didn't S key correctly. That's not when you're running away. You turn and run. You don't S key with your shield out. Yeah, kind of. This is an E division mistake that we're seeing here.
He's lucky they didn't catch him. That could have been
He
bad.
took a hit in the process. Took a hit for his lack of turning around. Let's see. A cat was turned around and he just missed a stab. It was Neander just missed the perfect opportunity there. Could have gotten some easy damage, and then he also missed any opportunity to do any damage there. That was just all around a really series of bad plays from Neander. No offense.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught like that.
Well, it's just like he rode past him repeatedly, and like he wasn't even landing stabs, not even on shields. So what's the point? Yeah, he's coming back in, so if he gets knocked out, this could be really bad. But he could also hit their cav and do something useful. So I'm going to be watching him. He gets a kill there. It doesn't hurt.
There you go.
And then
He needs to stay up, though.
Yeah, he needs to stay up, and he's taking a nasty hits. I would have focused on cav usually if I made something like cav.
He needs to break off at this point and just stay alive for the second fight. There you go.
I mean, it was definitely an effective contribution. He drew cav attention off the infantry for a very long time. He got some damage in, but I think he could have done better by knocking out one of those first life cavs on the enemy team.
He can't do this. He cannot be in here.
He's about to get knocked out here. Whoa, that was bad. That was bad.
That's not good.
Although his team was already mostly out, apparently. I don't even know how that happened.
Oh, they're coming back now. They're just coming back slowly.
No, two guys don't have eco.
Oh, yeah. Neander's out. And
Both their
Slim's
cav
out.
are totally
Cav is
out. Both cav trickled and died.
You need your cav in the second fight. It's so critical. You let the first lives die.
Yeah. We might as well start incrementing the scoreboard in favor of Peasant's Rebellion. I don't see them winning this. They're still fighting the first lives, and they're still taking damage here. Lots of damage.
Generational etiquette is super important in these matches, just to reiterate.
Yeah, the concept there is, you know, everybody has your first live spawn, and you want to have a full respawn fight as a complete unit. You want to have, you know, one first generation on like 10% HP fight with a generation of full HP second generations, because then when he gets knocked out in 2 seconds, they're down one in the rest of the fight, and then, okay, then the guy who has first life, he respawns, and is he going to win against a 3v1? No. So that's the concept behind generational etiquette. Probably shouldn't explain it in every match, but I'm going to keep doing it. Gives me something to talk about while we're waiting for these respawns. We have a whole 8 seconds left until they're back in the match.
Keep yapping about it, but nobody's listening.
I know. Yeah, somebody's got to start. They're going to learn eventually. I just have to repeat it every time. So, but yeah, I mean, it was cavalry is an exception to generation etiquette to an extent, but you have to play judiciously, and it's a very bad. It tends to be a particularly bad idea when the enemy has archers, which they don't hear. But if the enemy has better cav, you have to be really cautious, and that means that you leave when your infantry is all but dead, because then the 3 inf and the 2 cav are going to turn on you, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad news for the cavalry.
You gotta let your infantry cook whatever they got.
So what I noticed is there's very bad communication on cavalry, because there's this one cav chasing one cav on Vlandia through a tunnel. Instead of turning around and helping him, or something like that, he just kind of like is on his own, and then he gets Eiffel Towered by 2 cav on the enemy team.
Yeah, this cav needs to work together.
it didn't turn into a disaster despite him getting kind of pincered, but
Nice thing about this is that the Battania Cav is locked on the Vlandian Cav, and they're not doing a lot of infantry damage right now to the Vlandian team.
Got a pretty nasty hit in there just now.
Yeah, now they're switching back over now.
I'll split your skull.
Looks like VK mostly won that fight and then stops paying attention and lets the Cav get a free kill. And then they're letting the second generations just roast them, getting like not together. Thomas just not paying attention. He's chasing Cav instead of fighting in his first life. Is he on first? What is he doing? Like you need to reset with your other infantry. You don't. Like, what are you running away for? You got to fight here. You gotta
They're trying to knock out their Cav with their first lives, but that
doesn't
the only
work.
way you're going to bring the Cav in is if you fight him. The Cav's not going to charge you with spears out.
Pudin gets another dismount. Sneaky dismount there. That was a good job.
He is sneaky. You can see their eco right now suffering with a few of their peasant spawns.
Yeah, well, is it a peasant spawn?
Oh, that
Isn't that just dismounted Cav?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that was just peace. That was just. I'm actually confused. I don't recall seeing them lose.
Ah, he almost got that dismount there.
Oh, I think I know what happened. Because they won well enough, they must have recovered their eco or something. Is that what happened here?
Most likely, yeah.
Do we see any? That is just hard to watch. That was very winnable for VK5, and they just like weren't pushing this guy at all. It's definitely a Cav difference here to a certain extent. I mean, so Sly. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. At this point,
Peasant and Sly are really chopping them up.
Definitely. Yeah, let's go ahead and increment that scoreboard a couple times. It's up to 5 for Peasant's Rebellion. This is a 5-1 for Neander's the only one at Cav now. Slim dropped infantry. This is definitely a tough matchup for VK5. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Peasant's Rebellion might have gotten something like a 12-0 to KOTF, so definitely one of the tougher teams to beat in the E-Division. That was what Les was saying. Of course, nobody on stream heard him because the professionals behind this stream might have had one of the audio tracks muted. Anyways.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to fire the production crew after this.
Yeah, the audio guy's mentally retarded, so we gotta get rid of that guy. This fight just keeps getting more and more spread out. It's hard to keep it all on camera.
I wish they would stick together more. They need to stick with their team.
I mean, that's the more effective way to fight. Not to mention it makes my job easier. Yeah, I think Pudin did have enough time to switch from spear to sword, which he should have done when he was getting 2v1'd.
Definitely.
I mean, it's hard to do when you're stressed out in the moment, but... Yeah, Peace is just cooking here, which is to be expected. He did that in the earlier match that I had seen, so... If I sub in, yeah, Les is asking if he can sub in for the E-Division team. I'm not sure if... okay, Sly apparently would mind that. Sly still has a life here, and he's still doing damage. It's looking kind of Jover for VK5 here again. Looking to be a 6-1 on the first map. It's going to be tough. Yeah.
Textbook skirmish plays by Battania right now. Their cav is looking really good. Their infantry is holding. As infantry, you don't have to get a lot of score to be good. You just have to let your cav cook. You just have to open the enemy infantry up enough for them to do damage. Especially in this tier.
Basically, let me think here. To win, VK5 is going to need to 6-0 on the second map. That seems pretty unlikely with how things have been going so far. I do think, as one commenter said, Peace commented in the YouTube chat that Peace is overpowered. He may have a point. I think that's been my synopsis so far as well. So our second map here, once the admins get together, will be Lighthouse, Battania versus Empire. So that'll be more different. The factions are less identical in the sense of their eco. So you'll see definitely an Empire favored round for each side on that half when they're playing Empire. Because Battania will be weak with their peasant lives, but that doesn't mean that they're going to lose. I would not be surprised if Peasant's Rebellion picks up their weakest round on Empire. I'm curious who will play it first. Despite being named Lighthouse, I don't really feel like that Lighthouse is very prominent. It doesn't really stick out in my mind's eye or my recollection of the map. I think about the B point and the A point, whatever, kind of distinctive, but the Lighthouse itself is not that large. They should have made it obnoxiously huge so you can't overlook it. Like this is Lighthouse. It's like a little tower. It's like a random tower. Where's the light on it?
I thought we were in week 2.
Sorry, this is week 3.
It's crazy. Oh, we're already in week 3. Never mind.
Yeah.
Week 2 was last weekend.
Yeah, we had Sunday a whole.
I thought this was
couple days ago.
I thought this was one of their catch-up games.
Did you or did you forget that it was week 3?
I know it's week 3 now.
Because it was me. If it was me, for the record, I did forget that it was week 3. So
it's because I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play this yet.
That's fair.
I'm behind.
All right, so I think if you're on VK5, you're hoping that Peace's ISP decides to stop working, or a tornado hits, or something. Yeah. One thing I want to remark on that we're on stream: this wooden Kuzate asset. I don't know why, but it seems like it's used on every single skirmish map.
It's a beautiful asset.
It's used a lot. Gets used a lot. Once you notice, I've done a little bit of scene editing, and once you do that, you start to notice what gets repeated a lot. It's a nice map though. They also apply the curve modifier to it a lot. I think, is it even curved? This one, I think the asset itself is curved, and not even just the placement. Which is the thing you can do. You can actually bend. These walls are bent. There's no bent wall asset. They just use a modifier on it to bend it. I'm just remarking on random things because they're taking too long to start this match.
That's fine. Surprisingly, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's actually considered a script, I believe it's a script or it's a modifier for the exact technical name for it in the scene editor. But it is fun to know these things and to use them occasionally. I think that's probably true for the fences as well, where they are. These are actually straight logs. They're not bent logs. But that is the thing you can do with wood is get it wet and bend it. Although probably not if it's that size.
Steve, if you were the VK captain, what would you be telling your team right now?
I think I would just be screaming. So get good or something. I don't know. I definitely would have tried another all-infantry round, and I would have yelled at my cab to practice more, probably. Get on cab duel, get on East NA duel, and dual fee fun cab duel for 5 hours a week or something.
They might need this. They might need to hear this.
It's important information for everyone to hear, actually. So, yeah, at least for playing Cav. So, yeah, I think they're ready. They'll be starting momentarily. It'll be the first half of Lighthouse starting here momentarily. Let's go ahead and reset the half indicator on the scoreboard while we wait. So, yeah. I don't think we've seen any substitutions on VK5, despite them having, what was it, 8 players in the warm-up of the first map? I think they have players on standby, they're just not really looking to make any changes right now.
Could you press tab one more time?
Yeah.
It looks like they did swap out Pudin.
Which is weird because he was doing really well. What did they change him for? Was it Woolyte?
That might be the play.
Oh, we want to... Let's see. Squiggles is asking to join this stream here. Everybody who's in the audience, even if you don't want to stream, or even if you don't want to speak, you've been invited to speak if you want to.
Hello.
That being
Hey,
said,
Squiggles.
here's some hot takes. What are we doing differently? Or what do we need to do differently in VK5 to win here?
Well, I heard they're gonna sub in CoolGuy for Woolyte, which I don't agree with. I hope they don't do it, because they're doing bad right now. I think SlimShakey needs to go in, to be honest, because 2Cav is not doing it.
Yeah, the Cav is just not going to happen. I would just go all in at this point. Even if you don't win, it'll be less frustrating to lose that way. At least that's what I think. There's enough of a Cav diff here. It's not worth the while of VK5 to play.
Do they go
Cav.
5-inch imp and an archer just to put pressure on the Cav? Question mark.
All right. So words of encouragement from the streamer here. We have here's how VK5 can still win. Broly is threatening to rob the Peasants Rebellion players in real life. I mean, Persistent Bannerlord, actually.
2Cav again.
Yeah. VK starts on Empire, which is the better faction, for the first round. Only for the first round. For the rest of the rounds, not so much.
If it ain't broke, don't change it.
So SOEL Peace immediately knocks out SlimShakey. They're both Cav on VK5 are just obliterated in seconds. I'm not looking too good here. Infantry's gonna have to cook to... This is their easiest round. This was their easiest round to win, VK5. And it does not appear that they are going to do so. Broly last alive, getting the most score at 84 damage. I think it's time to wrap it up here, pretty much. I mean, they're going to have to finish all the rounds. It's really important for my skirmish league. People will be thinking that, at least, if they have selected any of these players. I think anyone who had picked Peace from seeing his performance in earlier matches is pretty satisfied with this one and how it's been going.
Oh man, what a fantasy pick.
Yeah, I think what's funny is, like, he was still, like, we kind of, like, postponed or extended the period of selection for players. So, like, Peace was still able to be picked after he had, like, racked up, like, 2K score in his first match. So if you just kind of base your picks off of past performance of this...
Wait, was Ian team killed again?
Yeah, he was.
Well, somebody has to be on their team.
That's unfortunate. VK's imp is still holding. Man.
Sly is promising to commit unaliving himself.
I think there's helplines for that.
First round, they get away with going all brigands just to bully VK5. and shatter their morale, not in game but in real life.
Will Battania break and start to meme? That's the question. Could we see a 2-2-2?
If they go all pikes, I think that VK5 might win.
They dropped SlimShakey finally.
I think Sly did not expect that wall to be there.
Hard break maneuver.
Missed the bump stab, but it was
They
good
need to
try.
get on that spear. They need to get on that spear for their calf right now. Both cav are just bullying Neander at the moment.
Yeah, he's having to cancel a lot of his stabs, which is limiting his damage output. It was a solid kill by Neander.
That was a good pick. Agreed.
Yeah, it was a really good hit. He misses that one though, and then loses
He
his
just
shield.
needs to stay up. He just needs to stay up.
Yeah, I mean, I would just start jousting their cav at this point because you got
He's
not
pulling
much
the aggro off the imp, which the imp needs right now.
Yeah, he actually might have saved that fight for them.
And he just killed a cav.
Yeah, he killed the better of the two calves, so definitely it was a worthwhile. That was a great round for Neander. It was probably his best round so far. I mean, he didn't even do that much damage, but I think just in terms of overall, that was the value added to the team. You know, was more so than you can see on the scoreboard at this point.
It was very good cover and fire for his infantry.
Yeah. Now we just need Empire to do some actual damage on their first lives, and then they have a chance of winning.
Neander needs to stay away from his first lives right now. He needs to stay far away. Take that free hit and run, buddy.
Yeah, one thing that I would be doing to bully Neander if I was enemy cav is like what I can tell that he's doing on his second life is he's always coming in on the 50-50 on the joust with his shield held out. You know, he doesn't do it like for 10 seconds, but he consistently always goes for the block. So if they start realizing that and they start going for his horse, they're just gonna dismount him so fast if they just realize what he's doing, which is he's scared.
He's already down a shield.
This is why you have to just kind of, you know, go for it sometimes. And then he's gonna go super slow through here.
He's sticking with his imp. Yeah, I would love to see when the cav gets slowed down like that, the imp just switch on the cav for a second.
Right.
Not to drag their whole attention on him, but to at least, if he's there, drop that swing on him. Hold that swing on the infantry and switch the cav.
Boost an overhead. Either way, Broly not good at capos.
This imp line is crushing right now, though. The cav awareness needs to step up, though.
Ugh, that must have hurt. I think Ian said clutch or kick, and he didn't clutch. So
He didn't
I think
clutch.
that according to the tournament rules, they have to substitute him for a different player. Otherwise, this whole no I'm kidding.
This could be a throw.
Can we get a perma? He's saying. Yeah, I think it's a good point. Yeah, we should really ban that guy from the server. All right. Let's see here. I have never seen the beach on that side of the map. Anyways, all right. Sly's going for an early pick, maybe. And since people on VK5 may or may not have a tilde key, okay, they do. That's incredible. Actually, they don't because they turned, which is the
I
opposite
hope.
of having tilde key.
I mean, they gotta work that out.
Yeah, I don't use my tilde key. I just refer to it as the tilde key, but it's my mouse
I
button.
switched it to alt. Hot take.
Alt is I've got a very unique key binding set, so I don't think I could use alt. I'm considering binding it to Z. 'Cause I don't really need to crouch that much, honestly. How much? So this goes. First infantry fight of this this round here.
Looks like we're losing a little frames when you're moving the camera.
In the Discord stream or the YouTube stream?
Maybe the Discord.
The Discord stream I don't mind too much. The YouTube stream I would be upset if it's dropping frames.
That infantry line. Like, thank God there's a 2v1 going on.
Oh my god, nobody's why is he not helping
No.
Slim? He's just getting a shield here for ages. Woolyte threw that for us. I don't know.
There was just a VK team kill right there.
Oh my god. If Woolyte had not...
They had a good fight there, too.
Yeah.
They had a 3v1, and they did not clutch up.
This is why you have to be confident in blocking, because you cannot go and spend 15 seconds to grab a shield off the ground while your friend is getting 2v1'd and somebody's approaching him from behind to bonk him. So...
But look, all that Imp had to do, he was in the 3v1, he held his 3v1 by just holding block, and his cav did all the damage.
This is a hot take, but what if they swapped out Thomas for Pudin?
I mean, Thomas is getting pretty bad score. But I haven't really seen how he's been playing, so like I don't know if that's like entirely his fault or not.
He's staying up in the fights, but he's not really getting a lot of damage in. And for the weaker cav side, their infantry needs to do damage. Nice.
It was kind of funny to see all the cav on both teams go in a counterclockwise fashion for the first 10 seconds of the fight.
Josh 4000 needs to drop his spear and get ready to fight him. They're on him now. That's crazy that they let the spear go for a moment.
Josh is doing a decent job of breaking distance and being able to spear. Stabbing the horse there was totally not necessary, but it was the end of the round, so who cares?
Hey, that'll do. That'll do.
Well, I think VK5 has, transformed this from a complete stomp into, we've gone from, I won't say abysmal failure, but approaching that to, a loss, but not an embarrassing one. They did better than KOTF by a long shot already. It seems like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I heard that they went 12-0 versus Peasant's Rebellion in this division.
What's the total score right now?
Overall, it is 7-3 in the favor of Peasant's Rebellion, which is a handful of random clans. So, actually, technically, if VK5 wins all the remaining rounds, they could still draw. A draw is still on the table. I don't think it's likely. It would be crazy to see that happen. Why is this one guy all on his own? Who's this? Broly.
You want to show your faces back home?
I guess Peasant's Rebellion has decided they really want to win, and they're going to try to morale them instead of just fighting straight up, which is, not necessarily a bad play, but it's different. But yeah, if the one cav is not at all comfortable contesting the two, then I think trying to morale. Oh, that is so fast.
Yeah, they weren't supposed to push until they were capped there.
They left behind Josh 4000 who could have speared. They just rushed, man.
I actually think, isn't that Oh, Josh and Neander are down. Oh, jeez.
Something is weird with the eco on Battania. Why do they not have full lives coming back?
Skirmishers the first round.
right? I just
Well, actually, we're on round 4, so
this is just run out by now.
I think it might be full circle.
This guy's so far out of position. What is he doing? Woolyte's just miles away from the fight, and that basically cost them. If they had any chance, they kind of threw it. Yikes.
The cab awareness.
I mean, it's hard to be aware in that scenario, to be honest, but
You can hear him.
it's true. It's true. You gotta get this. You get a headset that has an option to boost your bass on your audio, and then do that.
Tear your limbs.
Even if my own cab's coming behind me, I'm schizo afraid. You know? I don't like cab behind me. No.
Yeah, one thing to get in the habit of doing is probably feinting, where you do a wide swing when you swing it out really far and then back in, just to get a little bit of visibility on any cab approaching you. Something I try to do. I'm not perfect at by any means on inf, and not even that good at infantry anyways.
Whew.
All right, well there goes any chance for a draw, but they can still reduce how badly they lose by.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, it's 8-3.
Now, the competition here, so every round is going to be calculated for the finals, correct?
The way that it works is, I believe it's in this first stage, it's a group stage. So each team fights every team. Even if you lose your match, you fight every team. And then my understanding, could be mistaken, the match wins are tallied up. And if two teams have equal match wins, then every round one will matter.
Gotcha.
So, you know, in terms of whether or not rounds are really considered into the calculation of who wins or not, they can be, so you might as well treat them as if they all count. So we have seen teams, you know, go like meme classes, like they go all berserkers. I think, like, I don't know, maybe it was VK4 that did that, because they were winning by a lot. But it's like, well, that's a bad idea. They actually, I think, lost as a result. And it's like, well, you know, if you guys were going to be otherwise in a draw, you might have just cost yourselves the overall tournament win there. Not the tournament win, but possibly placement in the final stage.
Right.
I can't tell, but did Banner team it there? I'm not sure.
Really good switches on Battania side. You can see their infantry is really working well together now.
That was a nice hit by Sly.
As one dies.
We finally see
Josh
somebody
is
spawn in
leading
Battania
four
who's
right
bad
now. That is
eco.
wild.
Hey, Josh is doing crazy on infantry. I had a pretty positive impression of his ability, so nice. Well, I think getting
He's
stabbed in the back
kicked
was worth it.
Left and right.
That was bad.
I mean, it was only in front of him.
Yeah, you're very vulnerable when mounting or dismounting, so... Well, that was really bad. I have always thought that, like, the lack of visibility to people approaching you from behind on this objective is just... It's very unsettling to me. And I'm always turning around on a cav, and Neander just was not aware. Just too complacent. Looking at the guys in front of him, he had tunnel vision. Looks like VK5 might pull off a round win despite that.
Yeah, they're guarding their spear really well here. And that may be a trickle, but that might be... They're all in at this point.
That's gonna hurt.
I mean, this is it. This is it. This is the round of all rounds. They need to throw everything they got at this. Man. You know, when you're playing skirms, you kind of know the guys. They're constantly screaming cav in. And I just wonder what those comms are like right now.
Yeah. 9-3 in favor of Peasant's Rebellion. We're going to switch to the second half of this map, which is Lighthouse. We'll have VK5 on Battania and Peasant's Rebellion on Empire. So the closest it could be at this point would be VK5 winning all 3 rounds, even their weakest round on Battania, and that would bring them up to a 9-6. If they lose all 3, then it could be a 12-3. So that's kind of your range of outcomes, pretty narrow, and looking like anywhere from a terrible loss to a moderately bad loss. I'd say 9-6 is borderline close, but still pretty bad. Whereas 12-3 is kind of a stomp. So I think that's likely to be something like maybe, well, either way, if
I think first round this time is Imperial, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's my bet as well. I think VK5 loses on Battania. And somebody should fire the guys in charge of the scoreboard, because it's been saying first map for this whole first half of the second map.
Yeah, fire that guy too. Sound guy and the scoreboard guy.
Scoreboard guy and the audio guy, we both mentally challenged interns who they're going to be forced to fight peace on cavalry by themselves.
Next week, an entirely new team of production crew. We're bringing in the commissars.
I'm nervous for no reason, by the way. All right, so let's see how they do here. Somebody probably had to step away for a minute, so they're taking advantage of their warm-up round.
What do we think? Score under over for peace. 1200 this next round.
Next round or next half?
Or next half.
All right. Most definitely over.
Okay. And then I think we ended with a 1400 score for Josh for 1000. Under or over 1200 for him on Battania.
Battania has a good spear. Good spear gun. I don't know. You said under or over 1200?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go optimistic and say over 1200. I believe in Josh. In fact,
okay. All right.
We'll have to call him at least, Josh 1200.
At least Josh 1200. Okay.
Right.
Quell, barbarians! Cowards, traitors! We are the light arm of heaven!
All right, so I don't know. I'm guessing 4-2 on both sides. It would be funny if
I think we're going to see a 5-1 for Battania, and we're going to see the same 4-2.
You're right. You're probably 5-1 on Battania. You're right. Yeah, they're doing the 5-1 towards the end there. They got tired of getting obliterated on cavalry.
I think that was their best results were from their 5-1, that last combo.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we'll see any crazy, all recruits rounds.
Was there a swap? Is Pudin in now?
Putting this back in.
Thomas and Pudin swapped.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how much of a difference it makes. Is Pudin also on spear?
I really don't want to see 2 spears, though, from a 5-1 comp.
Pudin is
like
on
one.
Mace, which is going to be tough for
right.
his ping. Because, it's hard to, even if you're incredible at the game, if you have 100+ ping, sometimes it feels impossible to just swing fast enough to not
I don't know, I
get
play
spammed.
E with 100 ping all the time. I don't think it's the worst thing. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough, but he has teammates that can support him. He might be able to get a couple damage in. At least he's going to be an active member on the Imp team, I believe.
Ooh, he's
He is
along.
pushing these fights, which is okay. If the Cav's not there, why not take the fight? There comes the Cav crashing in.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody can do it, Pudin's good at not getting spammed with despite his ping disadvantage.
CoolGuy down to peace.
Was CoolGuy on Cav this time? Battania would have to just completely stomp here to have a decent chance of winning with their crappy second lives. They're actually kind of... I mean, they have a chance to still win this fight, but I don't know if they have a chance to win by enough to matter.
I didn't like that infight on the stage there.
I mean, he did a good job of staying alive for a while, but...
That's
wow.
true, but... They
actually lost the 2v1 because they just took too long to kill Tyrion. Tyrion has that intimidating, you know, white face mask on. I guess it was... scared them.
I think that was good damage, though. We'll see how this second half goes.
CoolGuy out immediately.
Oh.
That's not going to help. I would have kept Neander on Cav, but I guess maybe they decided to just give him a chance to play. Who knows?
Maybe he needed a break.
Yeah, who knows? If you already lost the match, you don't... I don't know. If they think that their placement in the tournament's guaranteed, and it's just going to be them versus Peasant's Rebellion no matter what, then I guess who cares? To a certain extent, maybe rounds don't matter if you know the team relative strength well enough. So that's 10-3 for Peasant's Rebellion.
What's the player scores right now?
202 to Josh and 473 to Peace. So Peace is already a third of the way to our predicted score for him, and Josh is 1/6 of the way through there. That didn't throw.
We're seeing really good damage on the Battania team right now, or the Imperial team. Not bad.
Ian asked if I was proud of him, and because I'm a VK3, I had to say for legal reasons, I cannot say yes. So,
I'm proud of you, Ian.
all right, well, you're banned from the stream. Sorry. Squiggles
Oh,
or
that was
somebody
a short cast.
eject Tosco from the stream immediately. I'm too busy streaming to do that myself. All right, not really.
Fire the production guy, sorry.
Yeah, the productions guys were all thrown out of the buildings from the 3rd floor.
Oh, heavy Lancer coming in.
Kontos is a very odd pick. I wonder who's doing that. It's Sly Marbo. It's probably because he uses it on Colorado Campaign. That's like the one place that it actually kind of pays off to have a Kontos.
And that might hurt right there. He is lucky that is a tanky horse.
Yeah. He goes down finally.
Put that spear away. Cav's dead.
It's working well enough. Doesn't really matter if it's all 2v1s. I mean, it hits really hard, but it's kind of hard to use. Unwieldy is kind of an
I wasn't talking
understatement.
about him. No, I was talking about the Battania team.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, fair point. Broly is pushing right away with half of his team missing.
Broly is ready to fight.
That was definitely a choice on his part.
We're seeing a lot of S-King right now. They need to fight and not.
Well,
do
yeah, like
damage.
that's why it's such a bad idea to fight without the rest of your team.
Pudin gets a
so you
good
have
pick.
like, if you fight out of position, you have to S-key into position, and then your team is already in the momentum of backpedaling, which you don't want to be in, because the enemy team is faster than you and can like more easily get 2v1s when they want to.
Exactly.
You basically always want a Dabuki. It's funny how even in skirmish that's true, but it's also true in battle events, like giant battle events, like 200 players.
I don't know why they're gonna get moraled.
Yeah. Index. CoolGuy goes down again, and it's looking pretty Joe. Looking like it to be a 3-0 here.
I think they switched Neander back. Bring Neander back to the Cav.
It's gonna end too fast here for Josh to rack up his Josh.
I don't think he's
score.
gonna hit his 1200. How's Peace looking though?
He's 770, so he's getting about 360-ish score.
He may not make
approximately.
it if they win this one.
Just under 400 score per round, so if he does really well, he might get enough score to get to that 1200 mark.
Well, I know who I'm gonna pick up next fantasy league.
Squiggles and I just realized that we have a voice activity key in game.
Die, you pig!
CoolGuy finally.
Nice.
The best player gets jousted. CoolGuy's been practicing with me. I'll take credit for that. It was all me, actually.
Is that your ult?
No, I'm saying CoolGuy has been practicing with me a lot, so
Yeah, go.
if he gets any kills, it's to my credit. And if he doesn't get any kills, it's his fault. That's how it works. He goes down. But he still has a life, so he can come back in and do something, maybe.
Go to your friends, Zipline. Go to your friends. Only your
fighter's like-
friends can help you.
Too spread out to even see what's happening.
That goes for both teams.
Empire's
Like
not
they
really
hurt
winning
me.
this fight
is
here.
crazy.
Oh, wow. Tops
That's
just...
unfortunate.
Tops
But he's
should not
second
be
life.
winning. Dude, I'm so mad. They let Broly die there. Like, why is Broly solo fighting one of their best info players without any help? It's crazy. Ugh. They're doing no damage with their first life, so even though they won, it doesn't matter. Now, I think that they're kind of throwing here by bringing Ian on recruit, because like, and also the Pila is a bad idea.
Watch him one-shot somebody. Watch him one-shot somebody.
If he can get CoolGuy, it would be kind of worth it. But CoolGuy's not paying attention, doesn't see him.
I think
Oh, CoolGuy's about to get a surprise Pila. Oh my gosh. Oh
just
my
hit-
gosh. Josh loses his life there to that Pila.
That's brutal.
Although the recruit is already down, so it might not pay off. Oh, he's already back in. He misses that throw, though. It's not going to matter. Ooh, oh my gosh.
That's it.
I'm vicariously depressed for this team. I've invited No Panda onto the stage if he wants to hop on. He doesn't have to, not required. But everybody in the audience is invited on the VK streaming channel here. So yeah, that was obviously not a close match. I pretty much had my impression set. Like I said, the second round of the first map, kind of your best indicator. Like, you know, usually when you have these factions where they have crappy second lives, you don't want to assume too much from how the fights go, because it's easy to have a cascade or domino effect when one guy goes down very quickly, which is easier to happen in the first round of either Battania or Vlandia. But yeah, I think I had the impression it might have been a win for Peasant's Rebellion kind of right off the second round, and that impression didn't really change as time went on. Kind of just solidified that there's a bit of a difference in the teams. I mean, I feel like the infantry difference was not huge.
No.
If anything, VK5 was slightly favored with Broly. They definitely, Tops did really well in dealing damage in a variety of scenarios where he could have easily not done that well, like 2v1s or whatever. But I'd say infantry slightly favored to VK5, and that was the only reason they picked up any rounds, because the cav difference was pretty significant, and Peace was just carrying. And I mean, obviously, some good plays from both teams, and Josh, tried his best, had a really good performance on some of these rounds. I think might have made the difference himself in some scenarios, but yeah, well fought by both teams. Appreciate them all coming out here, but not a close match. I think
Well,
Peasant's
hopefully we
Rebellion
see
has
them
the best.
both in the finals, and they learn from this. Both teams, watching their generational etiquette. I think we want to see a little bit more fighting together. I'd love to see both their imp lines try to combine a little bit more, and definitely both. The VK Cav team needs to grind out a lot of duels. They need to grind.
Very true. That's why Squiggles is good at Cav, and most Cav players, it's because they play a lot of either, TDM is good for getting good at infantry fighting, and Cav dueling is obviously the best way to get good at fighting Cav. Like, there's no other better method. You're not going to fight them like enough. Not going to get enough reps in to get experience otherwise. So you have to be bullying squiggles on Cav duel, because that's how you get good at the game. What else is there to say? I mean, the one thing that's interesting about E Division matches and D Division matches is because they're obviously lower tier matches, right? So if a certain team just puts in a ton of hours practicing between now and the finals, they could substantially improve. For higher level matches, people are not going to get significantly better in their techniques or their skill level, most likely. They can improve on their team coordination, communication, strategies, tactics, things like that. Maybe they could learn something different. But if you're an A division or B division team, you're basically set in your skill level. You can't improve that much in a few weeks.
Yeah, we're going from hundreds of hours to thousands of hours.
Right. So, whereas E division teams, they just don't have much practice. That's kind of why they're E division. So it's not like they don't have room for improvement. It's that they haven't practiced that much. So they could actually significantly improve, and if they do practice enough, I would not be surprised if CoolGuy has seemed pretty motivated and getting better. NeanderMoney's been practicing for a bit as well. SlimShakey, I haven't seen him around practicing enough, I think. But those guys, if they do put in the hours, they could become drastically better and actually be a real match for Peace in the finals. So, optimistically, we'll see a closer match. I think it's very likely to be VK5 and Peasant's Rebellion in the very finals for E Division. So I think what we need to see happen is the Cav actually cook on VK5 and put in, I don't know, even 5 hours of duels a week would probably make a huge difference between now and the time that their final match would actually be due.
Yeah, I definitely agree. One last thing, we have a No Panda here. What are your thoughts on No Panda after watching this match?
Did he actually get on the stage?
Yeah,
He did.
my thoughts are.
Go for it.
Say again?
Sorry. Go
My
ahead.
thoughts are, they're just inexperienced. They just need more practice. And that's kind of just it.
Excellent words. Excellent words. Thanks, No Panda.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No Panda, by the way, the best infantry player possibly ever. He's really good. I don't know, possibly not best, but he's crazy. Also, his DPI settings are insane. He didn't authorize me to disclose them, but I'll just say they're like approximately 50% higher than my DPI settings, and his in-game sensitivity is higher. So, I don't know how he
Quick
plays.
question, No Panda. What key do you have a tilde bound to? What is your free look?
It is the mouse button on the side. Mouse button
That's
forward.
how important it is. That's how important a tilde key is. If you're listening along, you need to free look. You need to watch your ass.
Real. Yeah, I think I've been considering rebinding it to maybe Shift or Z, but mouse button for me, I don't kind of like moving my hand a little bit or having reduced freedom of movement. It feels awkward for me still, but it's better than tilde key, which requires me to put my hand way off where it usually is. All right. Well, I don't think we have any interviews lined up with any of the captains or players, so I think we'll probably just about wrap it up here, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll have more matches, definitely on Sunday, where I'll be participating with VK3, and probably some more throughout the week. All right, guys.